And action!
Talk to me.
33-year-old pregnant female status, post-chronic seizure at a restaurant.
I think that the most interesting thing about Choose is that it's the kind of movie that's going to make you second-guess your instincts.
It's a story about a very difficult decision.
Choose is a movie about a tragic, pivotal moment in a couple's life.
Terry is a woman who is 4 months pregnant.
In the 4th month of her pregnancy, she develops a brain tumor, a very aggressive brain tumor.
And basically tells anyone who will listen that she doesn't want to be treated, but she then collapses and the husband is left to make the decision whether to save his wife or his unborn child.
He faces a question that he never thought he'd have to face and certainly doesn't want to have to face.
Someone gets to live, which is the positive piece of it. But there's a terrible tragedy, if you will, in the nature of the choice.
Patrick is a guy who is conflicted, I think. He's a guy who grew up very religious, very Catholic, but is beginning to question his faith. And certainly what's happening to his daughter is something that is testing it in a way that it's never been tested before.
When something like your religion is such a tremendous foundation to what you are and what you believe, when you all of a sudden are personally involved with it, your religion may tell you to make a personal choice that goes against your heart, not your religion.
I remember reading it and it just got me here at the core, and it was so heart-wrenching and so touching and moving and beautiful.
I love how Robbie Bryan puts everything into a juxtaposition between the brain tumor and giving birth and wife and husband and love and faith. It's a fully dynamic project.
You know, it's a very interesting story because it makes you think about the choices that can occur when you have a major health issue, in this case, cancer for the lead character.
Never a dull moment. I decided to make it about cancer, and while I was writing, I found out a friend from college was diagnosed with ovarian cancer and basically had just passed away. And that kind of jolted me very much.
That cancer awareness is a cause that he is very much involved in. And I think this is a great way to get the word out and to raise other people's consciousness about the disease.
This is a very personal piece, and just knowing that it's based on a true story brings it to a whole other level for me.
Well, it's a rare opportunity to be in a project where you feel as though you're making a good film, and also you feel that it might do some good and bring some attention to an important subject, such as cancer.
It is such a part of life, death, all in the mix, all at once, and you never really get to choose what hits you at once. And sometimes both sides of life come together at the same time.
All right, rehearsal's up.
I know people in my family who've had cancer, and I've lost people who've had cancer, so it's definitely a great idea.
Just last week, I learned that a childhood friend was diagnosed with this incredibly rare cancer that spread from her breast to her brain, and she found this out on her honeymoon. It just makes you think about every choice that you come up with as a person in life, and what would you choose?
I think on some level too, it was a universal mourning for anyone that has ever had to deal with any of this.
I don't think there's probably a single person that you could ask that doesn't know somebody that's either had to deal with cancer or knows somebody who knows somebody that had to deal with cancer.
Having a movie such as this that comes out there that shows at festivals will kind of get people talking and show awareness of either cancer research or just the simple things like appreciating your family and who you love and the importance of that.
I feel like any kind of art, if you're going to make it, should be more than just entertainment. It should have some other important element to it.
I think that the script is one that's timely and really compelling and heartfelt. And I think everybody in the cast and crew felt that way.
For people like an Andrew Hollander and, Josh, our effects artist, who just won an Emmy, like people like this pulling together, you know, and actors that are doing movies like I Murders, to pull together to do something like this is tremendous and something that I really am committed to being a part of.
If this film touches just a few people, no matter what their course in life, it's well worth it.
I feel like a lot of people are going to be asking themselves this question, what would you do if you were Jonah?
I just wish I had like $5 million to give these guys right now so they could expand it and like tell this story, and I want to know more about the dad, and I want to know more about, like, you know, Terry and her husband and what their whole relationship is.
I mean, that is what resonates, is the going through of the changing of the life. Like, what relationships change, what priorities change. And so to have a film about that, that's not just another sort of true story that we hear that's tragic, but it can seem far away, to have this story, this film, I think is such a rallying point for people who've experienced cancer in any way.
And cut. That's great, guys.